I'm gonna get into a mini audit for the Real cereal and check out how amazing this brand's website is. So if you scroll top to bottom, you are met with all of this interactivity, all of these amazing graphics, things scrolling across the screen, everything to capture your attention top to bottom and tell us how amazing this brand is. All of the amazing grocery stores are selling this product. And look at this stunning product imagery. Just throughout, really amazing branding job. Then when you hit their Amazon storefront, it just doesn't feel the same as it did on the brand's D2C website. But need not fear, this is something that we specialize at Mindful Goods. So I'm gonna walk you through some of the changes that I would recommend for this brand. Starting with the product imagery, this main image could use a lot of love. If you stick around and watch the rest of this video, I am going to create some AI main images on the spot and we are gonna gift them to this brand. Feedback here is that we need to be testing different versions of our main image so that we can increase the click-through rate of getting from the search page to our product page on Amazon. And the number one way that you can do that is by adjusting this main image. And so we want to create different versions of the main image to draw people to click on this specific product. So we're going to do that together. Beyond that, if we look at the rest of these product images and scroll through them, a couple things stand out. It looks like they're using all of the slots, which is great, but a few of the slots are just using flat lay Instagram style messages. And that's a lost opportunity that you could be selling. In our philosophy at Mindful Goods, our top performing clients use their product images to show and tell at least one main thing on every single image. Here we have 1, 2, 3 lost opportunities. So I would use those to turn them into images that are showing you something, which they are, and they're beautiful. But how do we tell the customer something else that's critical that they need to know so we can convince them to actually buy the product? That's a key step here. The other thing I would recommend doing is while some of these images are really well thought through, for example, this one, breaking down why you should choose this product versus another similar product in an us versus them style image, I would want to understand which one of these images in this product image carousel is the most important image that I need to be putting at the front of the stack, because the second image after the main image is an image full of lots of text. So is this the most important message that the customer needs to see as the second image? We should prove that with data. So that's what I would recommend doing as a product image stack. Usually we do that with a tool called Intellivy, and what that allows us to do is take this image stack, upload it to Intellivy, and then Intellivy will tell us which image in our stack needs to be first, second, third, fourth, and fifth, and it'll tell us which ones are performing the best, which ones are performing the worst, and it'll tell us why. I also like that this brand has a video, and Amazon is making a big push with video. So if you are not using video on your listings, you should absolutely be using video on your listing. The lost opportunity here on this video, though, is that it's not telling you anything. It's showing you a stop motion video, which looks really cool. It has some really cool music, but it's not actually telling you why you should be buying this product over anything else. Another missed opportunity there, but easy to fix, right? All you have to do is some cool text layovers and problem solved. Getting down into the A+ content, yes, they have upgraded to premium A+ content. Great job there. Super happy to see this, but we're not using any of the premium features. We don't have any video embedded in here. We don't have any carousels. We'd have to check and see if they did upload a mobile version of this. Overall, I'm a fan of the design aesthetic, but we don't really see the brand come to life here like we do on the brand's website. The brand website has all of this amazing interactivity, and that can be hard to do on Amazon, but you can actually do that really well by focusing on more of a landing page style design layout, some easy style changes in the design, and you could very easily achieve more fluidity in this premium A+ content. You could incorporate some more carousels and video and make this much more engaging, which is going to increase your dwell time that Amazon is in fact tracking on your listing. Now let's go see if they have a storefront. So on the storefront here is where we see some more of the elements come to life, but it looks like a lot of this was just copy and pasted from their website. One thing that could actually take this to the next level is taking some of those animated graphics that are on the brand website. You can do the same thing on Amazon with something called background videos, where you can upload a background video and it'll auto play and loop on the screen just like a GIF would, or just like that that animation does on their direct-to-consumer website. I would play around with this a little bit more and try to get some interactivity going on this storefront, because this brand has so many amazing, great assets to be using. The other thing I would do is really look at this holistically and make sure the page flows top to bottom, and make sure that this makes sense from an organizational standpoint. What we're missing here is an opportunity to buy right at the top of the fold. So what I would want to see here is, yes, we're showing the two products, but what if I already know this brand and I'm just trying to get to the page so I can buy the product? I want to get there as fast as possible. I don't want to have to scroll through all of this to get to this flavor, right? Another way that you could orient this is by either having hotspots on this image, so you can just click to get straight to that product, which would be what I would do here, or you can put the products right here as product image modules that'll allow you to just click and buy the product as well. Really simple changes that can help level up this storefront. So if you stuck around this long, let's get into doing some AI main images for the real cereal. So what I'm gonna do is grab the Amazon URL and I'm gonna drop it into our handy dandy tool here. And then I'm gonna go to this brand's website and copy some of the text that shows on this page to just get some of their brand voice in here. I'm gonna paste that in there. Next, I'm going to upload a product photo. I'm gonna grab this one. All right, I'm gonna save this. I'm gonna go ahead and revise the playbook. It's gonna customize all of my prompts that have been trained by this tool using our best performing main images and mindful goods. Essentially, all I have to do is grab a little bit of the product information from their website, upload a product image, and then it's gonna customize all of our prompts based on our best performing main images that have already trained this system on how to do main images. So now all of this is customized. I'm gonna go ahead and generate the visuals. So that took about a couple minutes, and we have about 15 different options to choose from. So I grabbed some of my favorites that I'm gonna show you here. And as with any AI tool, you're never gonna get 100% of the way there on your first try. So we went back and forth with some prompting and in Photoshop and got a few of them to a place that we felt were really confident. Our goal, anytime that we're ideating and creating lots of different main image options, is to get them to a place where we have 2 or 3 strong variants that we can then throw into our favorite split testing tool. And another thing to point out is that while we love to play around with the different orientations of how we can render a product and its packaging, or a product and its ingredients, there's another step in the process that's really crucial, and that's pulling in high intent keywords. So we ran a quick niche dive in Data Dive, and what you can see here is one of the top high intent keywords is looking for sugar-free cereal. So we wanted to make sure that at least on one of our main image options, we have a badge that says sugar-free or zero sugar, or something that's helping people quickly identify that thing that they might be searching for. And the reason for that is psychological. If we know that they're searching for sugar-free cereal and they see sugar-free cereal or zero sugar really quickly on a badge, there's a higher likelihood that people are going to click on that image over your competitors. All right, so now let's run a quick split test in Intellivy to see which one of our options is going to hopefully beat out the original option. Option A is the original option that the brand has. And then we have option B and option C, which are the two that we came up with. These two are much more vibrant. They're capturing the attention, or they're capturing mine at least. So let's go ahead and run this poll to see which one is gonna win. Now, the idea here is that Intellivy is gonna go out and ask 30 real shoppers which image they would choose and why. And then we're gonna be able to basically pre-validate our image to find a winning image before we upload to Amazon. And this is the best way that we have found to be able to run a quick test, get quick data in less than an hour, and know if our creative is actually working before we upload it to Amazon. And then we're gonna run a split test on Amazon using their Manage Your Experiments test, so that Amazon will tell us conclusively with their data which image is performing best. So for us, we run 2 different types of testing. Something like this as a pre-validation with Intellivy. This can actually help us to learn some other insights that we might use to make our image even better before we upload it to Amazon. The goal here is to test, iterate, redesign some things, maybe test again, and then ultimately test on Amazon and know that we have confidence before doing so. Another test I'm going to run is called a marketplace test. And this is where I want to understand how my main image today stacks up at the competition. So what I did is I selected a few of the new to market brands and a more established brand, but they're all seen as more of healthy oriented brands that sell a basic cereal. So in this case, this is a cornflakes, this is a Cheerio, but it's a newer to market brand against the real cereal, right? So what we're trying to gauge here is a benchmark. People that might be searching for similar products that want healthy oriented cereal, and how do they stack up against our listing today? Meaning, how many clicks are they getting versus us? We need to establish a benchmark so that we can run this test again with our new winning main image. The other great thing about this is you can specifically target Amazon Prime shoppers. So I went ahead and selected online marketplace, selected Amazon as the people that I want to target. All right, so our first poll is finished, and we can see that this one here in the middle was the winning image, which surprised me that it won over the zero sugar high intent keyword. But in any case, this is the winner, and you can see that it actually got 63% of the votes, 30% better than option C, and so much better than the original image that is on their Amazon page right now. So already we have a really high confidence that either one of these main image options is most likely going to outperform what the brand is using right now. That's a huge victory. We can take this a step further and read the comments of why people chose the option that they chose. And to see a simplified version of this, there's an AI analysis of two things. One, the situational insights, which before people responded to this poll, they were asked if they were shopping in a grocery store and had to choose a healthy breakfast, what are the considerations they would make? One was health and nutrition focused, two was taste and texture preferences, and three was convenience and affordability. These are the three things that mattered most to them. When we look at the actual voting patterns by women and men who voted on this poll, women ages 30 to 50 emphasized that they really liked the fruit, that it gave them a visual attractiveness and the idea of health, and that it's trustworthy. And it looks like women age 50 plus also voted along the same lines, with the nutritional factor being a top priority. And for the male audience ages 40 to 60, it looks like they felt that the winning image had the most aesthetically pleasant presentation. If we go through and read the individual feedback, I guarantee you we're going to find one or two other little golden nuggets that we can use to improve these main images even further. Since we have a very clear winner, now we're going to go ahead and run a marketplace poll, which is going to show us how this image might actually perform compared to the competitive set on Amazon. All right, so now we have our baseline results from the marketplace poll. This is a poll that I like to call the click share poll, because the goal is to increase the amount of click share we're getting on our listing as opposed to our competition. In this type of experiment, you're not necessarily always going to beat out your competition, because there's going to be brands like this 365 brand that's really well known, and obviously the results are going to be skewed. People are going to know that brand, they might be more comfortable buying that brand, they might already buy that brand. And so that's why I did mix in some of these lesser known brands to be more comparative to our emerging brand. So let's go look at the results after I duplicated this poll and I swapped out this image for our new, better performing main image. Here we have the second marketplace poll showing an increase to 23% from the original 12%. Going from 12% of click share to 23%, almost double the amount of clicks. So that is the way that you improve your click-through rate on Amazon. You ideate and come up with multiple main images, test them on a tool like Intellivy, and then you iterate and you come up with more options. You figure out what your benchmark against the competition, then test against that benchmark with your winning variant. Once you have a winning variant that you're confident in, you can take it to Amazon and run a manager experiments poll to get real Amazon data and validate it on the Amazon marketplace. So next, I'm going to be wrapping up these main images to deliver them to the real cereal. Hopefully they love them, test them, and see some improvement in their click-through rate on Amazon. If you want to be the next one to get a mini on it done by yours truly at mindfulgoods.co, leave a comment down below or shoot me a link to your product in the DMs. Maybe I'll choose you for my next mini audit. Take care.